Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So this time with Asia Open on Bitcoin, we had this drop to the downside. The ABC we were talking about retracing came back from this point of control up here, rejected, and came down to the actual point of control of this range. What does that mean? Are we going lower? Are we going higher? Well, everyone wants to know, so let's go into high block capital. What is high block, you say? Well, people lock their liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker, and we get to see where those crispy characters lie in wait for not using a stop loss. And let's go do that now on the 1 minute time frame. Who got pinged in yesterday? Oops, gotta log in here, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. And we can close that and do this. Okay, so with the drop to the downside, we had some liquidity pinged in to the tune of $188 million in 100x shorts here. We are imbalanced to the tune of $3.4 billion in short liquidity, and they came back and gobbled the 100x without hesitation, as they always do.
Fatality.
And then they retraced back down into the 100x longs, meandered around here into the London session, came back up, took out some of the 50x partners in crime, and now here we are, even Steven, considering to come lower into the 100x longs or higher into the 50x shorts. So which one is it? Are we going up to the pools up here at 26,583 for the 50x long 50x long squeeze for Tuesday, Wednesday, or not? Let's expand our vision to the higher time frame to see if there's anything on the 7-day that we're missing out on. Let's go ahead and switch to max liquidity. So after previously coming back into the 10 billion imbalance here at the 26.1 region, now we are imbalanced to the upside, so we could come up to the 27.5 region to squeeze up some of the shorts after coming down into the longs on the 7-day time frame. The imbalance is to the upside on the 7-day time frame. If we go to the monthly as well, the monthly does suggest a squeeze up to 28k to the tune of 10, 20, 30, $36 billion up in the 26.3 region. Some partner in crime up here in the $11 billion range at 27.6. And yeah, you could get a possible squeeze up to the 28k region after the false move Monday drop to the downside. Here's where it starts to get interesting, because when you go to the 3 and the 6 month, you have these double-digit pools down at the 23.4 region, suggesting fatigue at some point. Do you come up and tap this August 29th high range and sweep the highs, only to then drop it on Thursday or Friday? On the 6 month time frame, you do have this liquidity piping hot below at $168 billion at 24.3. If you go to the 2 year as well, you're going to see that large amount to the tune of $255 billion down at 23.6. Does this draw us down to it at some point? I would be surprised if not. When is that moment in time? I have no idea, but we're here for it every day, so we'll figure that out together. So if they get to the 28.3 region and start to draw down on Thursday, that would be a nice little fake out of bullishness to induce more longs as they drop it back down as they did here, creating some cat ears in a sense, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and go into the Binance chart and see where things were starting to fatigue on our oscillators to insinuate this drop. We were looking at the ABC and said, wait a minute for this rise up. We were off by $40 yesterday, but the idea of pumping up into this and then fading was not without our radar detectors. So let's go ahead and turn on that radar detector now. Heads up display is on. and we're going to turn on our oscillators. With this cloud on the 4-hour and the 6-hour curving, it was insinuating this wave dropping. What is this trend cloud, you say? Well, link is in the description for more. Scroll down to features, momentummaster.info. You can toggle everything from Bitcoin's bottom and see it as each feature comes into prominence, each component. So the trend cloud is the one that came into prominence yesterday as we were pumping up here, looking for that bearish retest of the cloud as it started to insinuate more downside prior to it happening. So also we're seeing this scooping of the price action and the possibility of 0.5 equilibrium bounce at the daily cloud here, which is why we didn't really give you an up or down signal. We were saying we'd monitor it as it came to fruition, and now a day later we haven't really moved since that drop, and we're at the equilibrium of this impulse to the upside at the daily cloud. So you see how the juxtaposition of these time frames, this 4-hour cloud thinning here, as well as the 6-hour curvature here, insinuated this ABC to the downside. All right, and so now here we are at the equilibrium. We broke the super trend on the 6-hour, and we are at the daily cloud. Do we hold this region or not? That is what is on everyone's mind. As of this moment in time, this impulse retraced 236 level that we were talking about. If you cannot hold 27K, then you are slated for downside. We held this super trend on the daily, and we have been slowly going down since then for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now on the 7th day, a week later. All right. So if you cannot hold 27K, these are your regions down below. We saw the liquidity on the higher time frame slated to go to those regions. Despite all of the retrace that you may have into the liquidity zones of the 50X and so on and so forth at 26,583, ultimately, if you're not above the 236 at 27K, then you are continuing down this bearish path. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the oscillators. Daily time frame stochastic has started to come back to the 50 level here. The money flow is still above the RSI, suggesting the money flow dumps down further as this disparity does backtestably become true. As you see, this money flow above the RSI here did get met with the dump, as the money flow fatiguing above the RSI does do that. Conversely, as the money flow comes beneath the RSI, you start to see this surge back up. We're not at that point just yet, so the idea of the money coming back down, this is why the money flow overlaid with the RSI is a tool to behold. It is better known as the volume weighted RSI. So the volume weighted RSI over the RSI does give you that insinuation of disparity and where it likes to shift. On that note, let's look at the 3-day. The 3-day closed. We were talking about the KD lines coming close together at the 50. They did that. So we're pausing as of this moment. We have 2 more days for the next 3-day candle close. The rising sun still staying at the horizon, not really doing much. And going to the 22-hour. 22-hour Williams is getting reset in a manner here. Still could come down for a ways and meander around and do some stop loss hunting before starting to get that appeal to the upside. Here on the 22, we did see the money flow beneath the RSI with the bullish divergence of this liquidity grab, which did suggest the upside as the rocket ships appeared. So we still could see that on the horizon at some stage. Doesn't seem to be the case as of this moment in time. You still have time for this average on the 12-hour as well to come down some more. But you are getting to an oversold region on the 12-hour. So the 12-hour could still continue lower. We're beneath the cloud. Are we bearishly retesting that failed attempt to reclaim the cloud as we come beneath it and bearishly retest down into this region? There is a pull down at 25.6 from an earlier stream that we've left up, that we have unrequited yet. This would also be a fib pocket level, so it would make sense to come down to that level too. And that is the 12-hour time frame. If we go to the 6-hour time frame, did have a vector candle rise into the liquidity. We talked about that 1 minute pool they came back for here at 26,309. They're not going to leave 188 million of 100xers survive, so they came back in V-shaped recovery into their face, as they like to do. And yeah, looks like a ABC within a ABC to just continue in down the path to the Fibonacci levels. As it stands right now, it's not at a level where I would be interested in longing, which is why I did not put out anything yesterday. We were just saying, let's observe, see what it wants to do. It needs to react to the absorption of that drop there, and it did. So let's see what's going on the, sorry, we didn't look at the oscillator on the 6-hour. The 6-hour oscillator going back and forth here. Money flow and the RSI coming back to equilibrium after previously being beneath one another. This was one of the rare instances where the RSI came down to the money flow rather than the money flow coming up to the RSI, but this disparity does suggest a move in terms of recovering this disparity. Now you're at a double bottom, very low oversold level on the Williams for the 6-hour, so the 6-hour has joined the upside potential. Rising sun on the 4-hour with the bullish divergence on the RSI now forming. Starting to get overbought in a manner here without really recovering higher highs in any way, shape, or form. The cloud we insinuated coming down from that point has come down in this wave of selling volume, selling pressure. So we could be just making this come lower in this descending channel like manner. Top of the channel rejection, top of the channel rejection, and we just make our way down the channel into this region down below. If you go to the 1-hour time frame, so you got it, when in NASDAQ futures, you got to be quick. So you can go back and replay this, but there's no point in going slow. You can kind of replay it if you need to. So the hourly time frame, you basically having the same thing occur. Rejection on the cloud. You had a cloud thinning, didn't really make it above. We talked about that coming up into this region over the weekend. Rejection, drop. So now you're getting, again, 5 time frames oversold, attempting to get this reclaiming of the cloud, super trend holding, bearish nature, and starting to reject off the cloud perhaps. Hourly time frame is potentially looking to reclaim and double top here as we go into the daily candle close in about 40 minutes. 15-minute has the cross down event and the reclaiming of the cloud. Can you hold this cloud, or are you going to drop beneath it? 15-minute looking to continue here and double top that hourly. Williams in an oversold position now as you went sideways. So this 15-minute could be doing some action as you reset some of these stochastic while going sideways. So the 15-minute could be bringing some strength to the table. We'll see how the 15-minute reacts here towards the open level. Was this the liquidity grab you needed? You had 6 time frames oversold on Momentum Master. If you got that dynamic alert to your phone, congratulations if you were up for it. For me, I was around the 8 p.m. mark. I was getting ready to trade NASDAQ, but this is where you would see, if you zoom in into the micro, you would see that you come back and you reclaim the cloud, you kiss it, and you continue. So this is how you basically play this cloud kiss idea here. We've gone over it multiple times on the channel seen it over and over and over. Let's go back to Monday when the rocket ships appeared down here. The same thing appeared on the hourly down here. So let's go show you. Well, actually it was the 15, but yeah, we were going over that on a live stream on a Monday in similar fashion. It wasn't sixes that time, it was rocket ships, and you had this reclamation of the cloud, kiss, and gone. It's the fractal-like nature of the universe and the fractal-like nature of trading across all time frames, and we reclaimed the cloud and we were gone. So, you know, if you don't like bottom fishing, you wait for that reclamation, you pull the trigger and see what happens. Stop loss real tight, you would have been able to keep it beneath the cloud and not even see any drawdown from that point. Same thing with here. Reclamation of the cloud, no drawdown beneath the cloud, boom. Not as massive as an upside play, but still would have been a decent little scalp, a rue on for a percent. If you do 5x leverage, that's about 5%. Can't ask for better than that. And yeah, here we are with the 15-minute, attempting to try to close out strong for the daily candle close. Remember, if Asia likes to pump it, they like to fade it into London, similar to here. Look at this. So Asia pumped it up, faded into London. London kind of chopped up, handed off with the London close of the banks here, reclaimed the cloud and sent it. So London essentially went sideways in the new repriced model from Asia pumping it up and dumping it and handing it to them dumped. And then London did nothing, handed off to New York, and at the London, New York preemptively pumped it, and London closed their banks and the algorithm took it off to that region. Watching how this Asian range plays into the London, playing into the New York, this exchange baton pass, if you will, is key to understanding markets. So this one went sideways over Sunday, but this is the weekend. Not a good example. We'll wait as things develop, but you can go back and back test that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so the angle here on the cloud, pretty nice. We just need to see this continue if it's going to bounce off it and have some conviction to the upside. Where you would see that occur would be if you take this trend-based fib, take it to the top here, take it to the top, take it to the top here. If you can close 26,326, get some candle closing above that level with some conviction, then you could be slated to come up to these regions and start to reclaim that pool of the 50xers that we left on the table and beyond. But first things first, what does the 15-minute do on a Tuesday? Let's go ahead and take a look at the total market cap bouncing off of a bearish trend-based fib level, previously oversold by 6 time frames as well. Looking at the total 3, we had the alt bleed out. We were talking about this possible bleed out. They were weaker looking than the total cryptocurrency, so we saw the alts take a bleed. Basically, the exchanges hit the reset button on everyone's trades and said thank you for the liquidity. Don't know why people trade these alts on these exchanges, which are also shady too, but that is what it is. If we go to the BTC dominance, we're looking at the potential dominance of a B retracing into a C, similar to Bitcoin. We got it. Went even deeper than we were thinking, but you lost the dominance of Bitcoin as it dumped, and people got kicked out into USDT. And what do you know? USDT dominance went up, because USDT dominance goes up as people get kicked out into USDT. The dominance being that it becomes a dominant force as people get kicked out and their stop losses get hit and they get kicked out into USDT and they become flat and tethered up. So the dominance dropping, Bitcoin dumping as people go into USDT. This was the insinuation of the downside play that we had. So where do we go from here? Let's go ahead and reassess. Getting some overbought ideas here. Six time frames overbought on USTD dominance. That means people looking to possibly reinvest. However, you're starting to reclaim this 12-hour cloud, suggesting that you could get another surge up here on the lower time frames. This coincides with the 15-minute. So it's similar to what the 15-minute on Bitcoin wants to do. If the 15-minute on Bitcoin wants to surge, this will drop beneath the cloud. The angle slightly suggestive of holding it if it can. And if we go to the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame getting that cloud fatigue on the hourly, suggesting that you could be bearishly retesting this for more downside. And if this is a bearish retest of a ABC, that means people investing more money into trades, putting their tether into a trade. So if this money flow comes below, though, it's suggestive that if it comes to a point here, it will start to kick possibly double bottom and go back into kicking people out. So how far does this come down? And by coming down, that insinuates that the dominance wants to rise on Bitcoin. You are getting money flow over bought here, so the dominance coming back down again. At some stage, you're currently rejecting the cloud. This cloud could easily open up as you reject. If this comes down as the dominance comes down, maybe you have like what, an alt rally? So what is the alts showing? Alts showing a little bit more strength than Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin holds a level here, maybe the alts have some sort of rally. As it holds this cloud on the alt total 3, which is the alt coins, everything minus Bitcoin, and ETH, minus Bitcoin and ETH. So as this holds the cloud, suggestive of some altcoins getting some love. And as you see, there's a lot of green on the alts. You have Link 6%, 4% on 3% on Cody, 4% on Seller, a lot of green on a lot of the alts. If we do cryptobubbles.net, you can see that there's a lot of green on the alts, Link being the top one. We said that first, Gala, a lot of these others. So this is showing that some of the alts are getting some headway by Bitcoin holding a region here. One thing to note on the DXY is the DXY hit our projected fair value gap zone here, and now we're getting some nukes suggestive of fatigue across the time frames here, and potentially tapering down on Tuesday and Wednesday, giving some risk on assets a little bit of a run. The risk on assets being the stock market and futures and Bitcoin. So as this goes up, things go down. As this goes down, things go up. Do we start to see that? It did not close on the 4-hour time frame, just the hourly. But the last time we had that on NASDAQ was up here. We had 3 nukes and nuke here as well, and those closed out during the Asian session and boom, dumped each time. Is it going to get the same type of accuracy? No one knows in the moment. We had the rocket ship play out on Bitcoin last week on Monday. You can go back and see it. Getting the cross down event on the hourly, so getting the dollar to come down ever so slightly. Retest some of the fair value gaps that it reclaimed here. Like here, for example. Coming down and seeing what type of reaction it has there, giving that 15-minute hourly play for Bitcoin to do its thing. Does it come up above this 236? That is the question. Coming above 26,326. So that line in the sand here and the cloud on the hourly, still thick purple, so needs to make a move and decision above that point. If you cannot get that 26,326 region, you could come down for a double bottom / liquidity grab. The liquidity suggestive of some 100x grabs, some to the tune of 12 million here, 10 million there, down 43 million down at 2608 on 100x, so they could go sweep the 100x one more time on the longs. You do have the higher time frame monthly suggesting that 28k level, 3 month and above suggesting downside. So whoops, those are my levels for today, ladies and gents, and that's all the time I have, about 30 minutes, short and sweet. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. We'll catch you for the NQ Futures New York Open in about 12-13 hours. So we'll catch you later. Peace.